Hi guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. Well, today I'm back with another 12 weeks of fall and Halloween for 2022. This is week number 3, so this is my third Halloween project, and it is a fun fold. You could probably call it accordion card, or I got to looking at this fold. I'm like, it could be called a W fold card too. I'm not sure what it's called. When I found this fun fold, there was no name given, so I'm either going to call it accordion fun fold or a W fold card. But it's really easy to make, and I think you're going to like it a lot. And it features that Best Wishes stamp set that's in the July to December mini catalog. Now, if you'd like to make this card with me, just pause the video. You can go down the video description and click on that blog post link. And when you go to the blog post, you'll find the dimensions that you need, and you'll also find the complete supply list, so you can get everything together. And if there's anything in the list you don't have and you would like to get, just click on that online store link below. I've got down the video description as well, and you can place your order there. And don't forget about my monthly thank you gifts. I've got a link to that below in the video description too, and that'll tell you the thank you gifts I have going on when you place an online order with me. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm not using any dies on this, but I did want to show you the stamp set. And I'm going to be using actually all 3 images. So you need both witches and the frog that's in there and the stars. And I am using You Put a Spell on Me for the greeting. Okay, first off, let's get some stamping done. This is a piece of basic white. It's 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. It's a little narrower than what we usually do the inside of the card, but this makes it so it fits better. Now I'm going to take the frog with my tuxedo black memento pad, and we're going to stamp the frog right in the bottom left corner. And then I'm going to take the stars here, and I'm going to stamp them right across the top. I'm just putting the stamp right next to the last stars that were stamped. We might fit another one. There we go. So we've got them all the way across there. So that is all the stamping we need to do on this piece. And then we have 2 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 inch pieces. I'm going to grab this witch here. This is going to be the one on the front of the card. And I'm going to twist my ink pad. This always inks it up a lot better when I do this with my tuxedo black. You don't need to do that with the Stampin' Up ink pads. With the memento pad, I think it does a lot better if you twist. Now this just fits, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it right over here. I'm kind of bringing it down a little bit and having the top of the stamp be near the edge, because I found that is what made it fit the best. There we go. So I did get the whole image in there. And now we'll grab the other witch, and we'll get her inked up. Do a little bit of twisting again. And she just fits lengthwise. Widthwise, she's fine. But let me get her feet near the bottom here. Put her down. Hold it down a few seconds. And there we go. So she fit too. So we've got a greeting to stamp, but that one we need to do once we get the card put together. So let's go ahead and get some coloring done. Okay, I've got the inside here. I'm going to grab some Stampin' Blends. These are the Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to take the dark one first. Get this up in the screen a little better. And everywhere I think there should be a little bit of a shadow. So everywhere I see these little markings. And there's probably a little shadow right here where his legs meet his body. Just kind of do a little bit right here. That's probably good enough. And then I'm going to take the light Granny Apple Green and color the rest of him in, going over that dark again because I want to get those shades blended. And I'll probably have to go over it one more time. Right now I'm just going to cover the whole thing up. And then you can kind of see better that way too how much you want to go over it some more. As you can see, those dark areas are just a little darker than I want it. So I'm going to go over those again just to blend them. And when you put 2 layers of the light Granny Apple Green on, it does darken the light up a little bit too. So I'm going to probably go over all of it here. I think I'm going to leave his eyelids, the light. I think that looks good just being a little lighter. Okay, there, we've got that blended pretty good. So now I'm going to grab the dark Daffodil Delight. I'm not going to do any, I'm going to use the small tip. Normally I use the brush tip, but I think with this one I'm going to go a little bit, I think it works a little better with these stars with the blunt tip. So I'm not going to worry about the dots, I'll just leave them black. I'll just color all of these stars in. Okay, oh, I've got one right there. Okay, so we've got all the stars colored in. So we are done with this piece. Let's go ahead and grab one of the witches. I'm going to use the light basic black blend and color in her hat. I didn't want to use the dark because it made it just way too dark, I thought. So I'm using the light of the basic black. And I decided I had actually used a little bit of the dark for shadows, and I couldn't see that much of a difference, so I'm just going to keep it there because there's not a lot of shading to do on her hat. So I'm just going to use the light basic black to color in her hat. Okay, and the other thing I'm going to make is her stockings. I thought I'd have them be the black too with her feet. Actually, it could be stockings and maybe shoes. So we'll get that colored in with the black, and we're all done with the light black now. Okay, now I'm going to grab my pumpkin pie, and let's see, I think I'm going to use the dark orange up here on her sash on her hat. Get that colored in. I'm not going to do any blending on this one because there's not a lot of shadows again on this, so I thought it looked just fine just doing it all with a dark pumpkin pie. And now that we've got that done, we're going to do her cape with the pumpkin pie. So just a couple places where I think it should be a little dark, maybe a little bit underneath on her collar because that's underneath her neck. And we'll put a little bit of a shadow here under her dress with that dark pumpkin pie. Okay, and maybe a little bit under her arm. And then I think we're good. Yeah, I don't think we need any there. So now I'll just color in the rest of her cape with the light pumpkin pie. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit more because the light pumpkin pie, I think it needs another layer to darken up the light and make it a little more orangey. And then I did notice when I was doing the light, I think I do want to add a little bit of a shadow under her right arm. Or actually her left, it's my right. And I'll put just a little bit right there. So you can go back. When you get done with something, you can go back and add the dark. It's okay. It doesn't have to be in a certain order. And then if it looks too dark, then just put a little bit of the light on top of it to blend it. Okay, I do believe that's all the pumpkin pie. Now I'm going to grab my Granny Apple Green. And I decided I'm going to make her dress the Granny Apple Green. So let's go with the dark again. And here's some lines. I'm going to make a little dark because those are little folds in her dress. I thought I'd put a little bit on this waistline because it looks like they've got those little dots there. And just a little bit under her neck because there will be a shadow for her under her neck. And then we'll take the light and do the rest of her dress, going over the dark to blend it. Okay, now you can see the dark is just way too dark, so I'm going to go over it again with the light. And whenever you use Stampin' Blends, I forget to mention this sometimes, make sure you use a light touch. If you don't have to use a lot of pressure, just use a light touch. That way, too, it protects your brush tip from getting frayed. So just keep using that light touch, keep adding more until it looks blended in the way you like it. So I'm going to do a little bit more under the neck, and I think we're about done. There we go. So that's all the Granny Apple Green. I'm going to take my dark Daffodil Delight and do her buckle because I thought the dark looked a little better. And then I'm going to grab the light Daffodil Delight, and I'm just going to have her be a blonde. I decided to make both of the witches blondes. They don't always have to, they can be more like the bewitched witches, like Samantha. So look at all those. So this is the light Daffodil Delight, and I'm just scribbling like on these. I'm just going along the lines of her hair. And if you want to add a little more to get the yellow a little bit darker, you can do that too. Okay, so we've got that done. Oh, I do want to grab the dark daffodil again because I'm going to do the broom right there. I'm going to grab my dark soft suede Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to do the stick part of the broom. It's got a little knot there. There we go. Now I'm going to do her face, her skin, and I grabbed the light natural tones blends. This one is a little lighter. As you can tell, this one has kind of a pinkish tint to it. So I thought I'm going to use this, and it worked out really good. Where her cheeks are, where I think her cheeks are, I'm going to color those in. This one is actually numbered SU 1000. So it's going to give her little rosy cheeks. And then I will take the one that says SU 900 if you've got the whole set. But if you don't have it, you'll want to buy the light ones. Now I'm going to go over this and color her whole face in, going over her cheeks. And that'll blend her cheeks. She'll still have a little bit of a rosy look, but it's going to look more natural. And I will also color her hands in with this. Okay, and as I was coloring, I noticed I missed a little strand of her hair right here. So I'm going to go back and add a little more yellow right there. Okay, so we have got her all done. So let's put her to the side. Now we're going to grab this girl. While I've got the light blends out, we'll go ahead and do her face again and her hands. So get the one that's SU 1000, the one's a little pinker of the light natural tones, and where I think she should have cheeks. It's a little hard to tell, but that looks pretty good. And then we'll take the SU 900 one and just color her face and her hands in. Okay, so we've got that done. Let's go ahead and do her hat, and we'll do that with that light basic black again. And I decided to have her have the same black stockings as the first one we colored in. Okay, so we're done with the basic black. Now, I'm using Gorgeous Grape as my card base, and we don't have a Gorgeous Grape Stampin' Blend, but I think the dark Highland Heather goes really, really close. So we're going to go ahead, and I wanted to make her little sash, so she's going to have different color combo. I mean, same colors, just different order than the one we just got done with. So she's going to have purple sash or ribbon around her hat. And I decided I wanted to make her cape the Highland Heather color too. Okay, we're done with the Highland Heather. We'll grab the dark Daffodil Delight. I'm going to put that on her buckle. That I didn't want to change. The buckle looks good being gold. Looks like I got a little purple there, so I'm just going to keep putting some yellow on it. And that actually made it disappear. Looks pretty good. Now, once again, I thought the light Daffodil Delight looked better for her hair. They're going to be sisters. Sisters don't necessarily have the same color hair because I've got two girls. One's a blonde and one's a brunette, but we'll go with it with my witch sisters, both being blonde. Okay, oh, and then we've got a little curl right here. Put a little bit yellow there. Okay, now we're going to do something with the flames. I'm going to take the dark pumpkin pie, because I kind of like this gradual effect. I saw somebody else do this. I'm going to put a little bit of the dark pumpkin pie on the right side of the flames. You know how flames have different colors, shadings in it? I'm going to have to use a really light touch because this one got used a little too much in a camp and it's kind of frayed a little bit. And then I'm going to grab the dark Daffodil Delight and do it right next to it, and we'll just go ahead and color the whole thing and blend that orange a little bit. That looks pretty good. Last time I think I added some light pumpkin pie. Let's go ahead and add a little bit there to the middle. Still keep some yellow on the left side. There we go. So that gave us some little shadings in the flames. And since we're still working there, we'll go ahead and grab, these are Smoky Slate blends. And I'm going to grab the dark one. And I'm going to put a little bit of dark down here because I thought they're going to be, even though the flames are right there, it is going to cast a shadow. So I'll put the dark Smoky Slate there, and the rest of the cauldron is going to be done with the light smoky slate, and I'm going to bring up that dark. I'm kind of pulling it up. That's going to make it blend a little better. Okay, let's see, what else do we want to do? Let's go ahead and finish this up. We'll grab that dark soft suede and color in the wood underneath. And this is a potion, so we're going to use some Granny Apple Green. I'm going to grab the dark Granny Apple Green, color in those dots, and then I'm going to make put a little bit of green on those black dots too, because I wanted a little more green. Okay, so now she's got a green potion coming out. And let's see, I wanted to make her dress. Let's do pumpkin pie. That's right, I couldn't remember what color I used. So we're doing pumpkin pie. So I'm going to grab the dark pumpkin pie. And I thought this little swoosh here needed to be a little darker than the rest of it. A little bit under her chin like we did with the other one. And maybe a little bit right here at the top of her sleeve there. But I think the rest of it can be the light. So we'll take it and go over the dark, blending it like we did before. Okay, you see I just keep going over it until I've got that dark blended the way I want it. Okay, so now she's all done. So we've got all the coloring done, so let's go ahead and do the base of this card. Okay, for the base of the card, I'm going to start off with a full sheet of this gorgeous grape because I wanted to show you how to cut this up. So it's going to be 11 by 5.5. So this is our 11. So we're going to line this up at 5.5, like so. And this is the base part of our card. But then we need that little part for the where the witches get put on. So this is actually a 3-inch piece this way. Then we want to cut it at 6 inches this way. Okay, and this piece is just extra. You can use that on another project. Now let's go ahead and get the cutting blade out of the way because now I'm just going to do some scoring. This gets folded in half, so we'll just go ahead and get it marked at the 3-inch, score it, at 3 inches. So that one's ready to go. And this one with the 11-inch side along the top, we're going to score it at 1 3/4. So we'll line this at 1 3/4. And when I use my Simply Scored scoring tool, I only need to go over it once. With this one, I use some pressure and I do it a few times to get a better score line, okay? Then I'm going to go at 3.5 and score it. Then at 5 1/4. And don't forget, you don't have to write all these down. I will have it all written down on my blog post, and there's a link to that below in the video description. So there's the 5 1/4 inches. We need to get this arm out here. And that's going to be lined up at the 7-inch mark. And score. So that's all the scoring we have to do. So let's go ahead and finish putting the card together. Okay, now with this one, have the biggest section, really doesn't matter which side you've got it on, because we're going to be doing that accordion. But have the big section on the right. So the farthest right score line is what you're going to fold first. So you fold it over like so. And you do want to have a bone folder, because that gets your crease nice and sharp. And then this one right here is going to go back. It's going to go the other way, so we're doing accordion now. Now, this one here is going to go the other direction, like so. And this last one is going to go back this way. So now we have our W fold, or you can have it an M fold, whichever. But we've got that all ready to go. Now, I decided to put some designer series paper on this. I've got 2 pieces of that Black and White Designs DSP that's in the July to December mini catalog. These are both 1.5 by 5 1/4 inches. And then I also got another design from the same designer series paper. And these are the same size, 1.5 by 5 1/4. Now I could do all of these the same because we're going to put one in each of these sections, but I like them alternating. So I'm going to put this up here, grab my seal. And you can pick which side. If you'd rather it was lighter, you could do it with the white. But I liked it darker, so we're going to get adhesive on here. And you just put it right in the middle of this first section here. Okay? And then we will do the dots. And if you wanted to make these white, but I liked it, again, with the dark, You could do one dark and one white too. That'll look good also. But I thought since there was so much white on the pieces that we colored the our witches on, and the inside piece is white, that's why I decided to go with the darker shade, darker sides. So this one's going to go on right here. So now I'm going to do the same thing with the last two. Okay, so we've got all of these on. Let's go ahead and grab that inside piece. And we're going to go ahead and put that right here on this one. It'll go right in the center. Yes, I made a boo-boo. I turned it over so it'd look better. I kind of messed it up here, so I wanted to make sure I had the other side looking better for you. And we will put this right here in the middle. I love having two sides to cardstock. Then when you put it on, nobody knows you made a boo-boo on the other side. So we've got this ready to go. Let's go ahead and put this to the side. Now we're going to grab that 6x3 inch piece. Let's go ahead and fold this one in half. Now let's bring this back in again. With this one, the fold is actually on the right side, okay? So with the fold on the right, you can pick whichever one you want. I like this one for my front. So we're going to put her on. Like I said, folds on the right. Put her right in the center. And then I will turn her over. And we will put her on the other one. When I saw this fun fold, I thought, oh, there are two witches in the set. It'll be perfect, because this was the stamp set I was wanting to use. So I was glad to find this one. Okay, now, let's get the fold back on the right. We're going to attach this one first. So I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to put two strips of my seal right here. Just two strips right next to each other. Okay, with this open, I'm not attaching it yet. I'm like looking at this. I'm going to try to center it to where this and this is about the same. And I think that looks pretty good. Let me lay it down quick. Oh, it moved on me a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty good. So now just push this side down. Okay, but now we want to get this one attached. So we're going to open this up, do the same thing. We're going to put seal just right here on this edge. You don't want to go any farther than this, because then it's going to stick together where you don't want it to stick together. And then you can just hold this down, hold the folds down, and then just push this down like so, because you want it to be able to lie flat. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that neat? I really like this. Now, the last thing we need to do is stamp our greeting. Now you can see why I wanted to wait to do that, because now I can get it right in the center where I want it. So I'm going to grab my memento, get it all inked up, and then we'll stamp this right here in the middle. Now, if you wanted to go with the color, you could do it orange, whatever you want to do, but I decided just to keep it to one ink pad. So we are all done with week number 3 of my 12 weeks of Fall and Halloween. I'll be back again next Friday with another project. It'll be another Halloween. This year, I'm doing all 6 of my Halloween ones first. So that way you have about a month, I think, something like that, to make any of these that you want to before Halloween. So that's why I decided to do all 6 of my Halloween first. And then the last 6 weeks will be my fall projects. So I hope you enjoyed today's project. If you want to make these with me again, if you want to stamp with me again during my 12 weeks or any of my other videos, please subscribe to my channel by clicking that subscribe button below and then clicking on that bell icon and selecting all. That way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video. Now, if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. And I'd love to send your first set of catalogs to you for free. Right now, we've got our annual catalog and our July to December mini catalog. So just click that contact me link below and give me your mailing address, and I'll get them mailed out to you right away. So let's look at the card one more time. I really hope you had fun making this with me, or at least watching the video, learning how to make it. And you can definitely use different stamp sets if you want to do something other than a Halloween one. It doesn't have to stay with a Halloween, of course. So I hope you had fun. And if you did, please comment below or like my video. I love interacting with you. It makes it a lot more fun. I like to get to know my viewers. So I'll see you later. Have a great day, guys. Bye.